Chelsea, if everyone's expendable and they're listening in to everyone, does that mean also Francisco Lindor?
This is a tough one. I know we've heard a lot of talk about this week. No one with the Mets has said, yes, we're going to trade Francisco Lindor. In fact, Steve Cohen said on that podcast last week, I don't see him going anywhere. That being said, Steve Cohen also didn't see Carlos Mendoza going anywhere earlier this season.
Good point.
And I think what they have recognized is that something is not working here. I think if they decide that Francisco Lindor is something that is holding them from working, then they're going to listen. It's a hard contract to trade. It's a hard guy to trade, not necessarily because of clubhouse stuff, just because, players like that who are aging, you don't know what you're getting in the next few years. But there are teams with contracts that they need to offload. I never rule anything out, especially in a league that includes A.J. Preller. But right now, I think it's tough to make that deal, so I wouldn't count on it, but I also wouldn't rule it out.
And you mentioned A.J. Preller, San Diego Padres. I think that's the place you look, right? Because you think about a couple of guys, whether it's Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., guys like that, big contracts that maybe they would look to move on from. And I think if you move Lindor, it would have to be a swap of a bad contract for another bad contract. The thing about Lindor is interesting, right? Because this is his 6th year with the team. You look at the last 4 years, he's finished in the top 10 in MVP voting in the National League. We know how great he was a couple of years ago, the MVP runner-up, the magical run all the way to the NLCS. But you know what I mean? There's always a but, because when you look at the overall body work, obviously it's not working. And wins and losses at the end of the day are what you're judged on. And if you feel you have to make a drastic move just to maybe change things up a little bit, like they tried to do last offseason, if he's a big piece for it, you've got to listen, despite what Steve Cohen said earlier.
And they should be listening. I mean, look, I don't know what's going on in that clubhouse. Obviously, none of us do. But if there's an issue, number one, we all know Juan Soto is not going anywhere. Yeah. He's going to stay.
Yep.
So when you do that part of the equation, Lindor becomes the one who potentially could be expendable. And, Dan, great point about his stats and where he's been. He has produced for the Mets on a relatively consistent basis. So it's not like you're throwing out an asset that's on the downswing. In fact, he could turn things around for your club, as he did with the Mets not too long ago. But what do other teams want to give out for Francisco Lindor? And do they, rightly or wrongly, think Lindor is the issue within the clubhouse? Because it all comes down to the chemistry of these teams. And if they feel like Lindor can come in and boost the team and get things going, whether he returns back to Cleveland, whatever it might be, that's all well and good. But if they feel Lindor is a danger to messing the chemistry up or whatever they've got going, I don't know if he's going to go anywhere, and that may not be the Mets' choice.